2015 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat is the most powerful muscle car in the world and would blow your doors clean off. So you need to ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? This is Shaggy SoCal with another Forza Lightning Lap. Now, the Forza Lightning Lap takes its inspiration from Car and Driver's Lightning Lap, where they take a bunch of performance cars out to Virginia International Raceway and turn them loose and run laps to see who's quickest. For the Forza Lightning Lap, I'll be taking cars bone stock in Forza 6 out to VIR's Grand West layout and run a flying lap and see how fast the car is and kind of how it handles. There's no stability control, no traction control, no anti-lock brakes, and I'll run the braking line with manual shift. So today's car is the Challenger Hellcat, and to use a highly technical term to describe how it handles, slidey. Very slidey. It's got this wonderful supercharged 707 horsepower V8, but it's a heavy car at 4,000 pounds, and it's only got 275s front and rear to get the car around corners and to harness all that horsepower. So, you know, I'm actually really asking this car to do stuff that it was never really designed to do, which is go around corners. That being said, you know, it slides are progressive. It's actually, I wonder if it's actually be a good car for drifting, to build a drift car from. But I'm going to be quiet now so we can listen to this engine up the backstraight. That is a lovely sound. The other thing about this car is second gear, at least for this Lightning Lap, second gear is pretty much useless. It's too short coming out of the slow corners, and with as much horsepower and torque this car makes, very easy to spin the tires. So normally I'd be in second gear there, but again, that 700 horsepower works really well in third. Kind of push a little wide here. Get very gingerly down to get back onto the front straight. But one thing I want you to listen for is when I make the kink for start finish in fifth gear, listen to the revs. I'm still spinning the tires. $250-1891. I'm going to play a game now called Above and Below. I'll sort the cars by PI and run lightning laps for the two cars that are just above and just below the Hellcat in the list and compare their times. So it looks like our contestants today are the Porsche 911 GT3 and the Ferrari 250 LM. Let's start with the Porsche. Okay, so the Porsche has a little over half the horsepower that the Hellcat has. 381 horsepower to the Hellcat 707, but it weighs 1,000 pounds less. So what it lacks in grunt up a straightaway, it should make up in the corners by being lighter and more capable. But as you'll see, still late getting that turn in, and let's salvage it as a late apex. Now, contrasting how the cars handle, as I use the highly technical term for the Hellcat saying it was slidey, I would describe the Porsche, at least in my experience with it, as being twitchy. Again, all the weight's in the rear, and if you're not careful how you're braking and turning in, if you're snapping off or you're turning in too suddenly, the back end will want to just kick around on you. So it makes it a little more nervous car. I'm just trying to salvage that exit. I ran 3 attempts with the Porsche, and this was the first one, and actually the first one was the quickest, but it's still just trying to come to grips with getting that car slowed down and turned. But the question we want to know is it faster than the Hellcat? Yes, it is, by almost 7/10. So, after doing laps in slidey and twitchy, it's time to hop into this mid-engine Ferrari and do a lap. And right off the bat, I will describe this car in highly technical terms as racy. So, slidey, twitchy, racy. It's only got 315 horsepower, less than half of what the Hellcat has, but it also weighs less than half of what the Hellcat weighs. So, very, very nimble car to drive. Again, the mid-engine also makes it a very balanced car. So, I'm not worrying about the back end kicking out like I did with the Porsche. I only did one attempt with this Ferrari, so it's why it may not be the neatest, cleanest, most precise lap, but it's just meant to get a decent enough lap to see how it compares to the Porsche and the Hellcat. A little drop the tire here, a little bit of a tank slapper, but again, very easy to correct and get right back on track. So the question is, it's the lowest on the PI of the 3 cars, but is it quicker? Yes, it is. So, as a final experiment, I went back to the Hellcat and upgraded the rear tire width from the stock 275s to 295 and did another lap just to kind of see what difference it would make in the handling of the car, then ultimately in its lap time. And unsurprisingly, the car was just much more stable when cornering. I could get on the power sooner, easier, with less wheel spin. And in a single attempt with the 295s on the rear, I was able to knock 9/10 off the Hellcat's official lightning lap time. So, kind of makes me wonder if Dodge, if they had spent just maybe a little more time, maybe putting slightly wider tires on the car, could they do that to give that car just that little bit more handling without betraying, the muscle car philosophy of gobs of horsepower and not so much in the suspension and handling aspect of it. But all in all, I was actually pleasantly surprised with how well the Hellcat handled itself on a lightning lap, considering it was not designed to go around corners. So at this point, thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions on cars you'd like to see me run a lightning lap on in Forza 6, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. And as always, drive safely.